Alright, I'm going to be sharing my scores from my Iters observation. The center that I did my observation at was my work where I work at the University of Louisville. Due to confidentiality and information leaving the university, I'm going to have to change the name of where I did my observation. So I put that I did it at the ABC Learning Center in the Butterfly Room, when in reality those names are a little bit different. The center is open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Kids that go to this center, their parents either live in Old Louisville, work for the university, or their parents live in the Family Scholar housing apartments, and they receive 3Cs, and their kids go there at like a discounted rate. There are two teachers present in the classroom when I did my observations. There are four teachers total in the classroom that are with those kids on a daily basis. Two come in the morning and do like a 7 to 3, and the others come in and do a 10 to 6. The ages of the children were 1 to 2 years old. Number of children enrolled in the class were 12, and the number of children present during the observation was 8. So for space and furnishings, the indoor space I gave a 5. Furniture for routine care and play I gave a 6. Provision for relaxation and comfort was a 4. Room arrangement was a 6, and display for children was 5. The indoor space was good. It had a lot of space for the children to move around freely, from center to center. The furniture, though, it was all toddler sized. There wasn't really anywhere for the adults to sit except for like one chair, and the toilet and the sink that were in the bathroom. They were not toddler sized, either. They did have a safe space for the kids to use, but I did not observe them using it, or going there with like books, or they didn't get sent there when they were upset or anything like that. There were posters that were around the room, but a lot of them were hung up like not at eye level. But the art week does get rotated like every couple weeks, because they have an art teacher that comes in to do art with them each week, so that old stuff gets sent home while they do new stuff. For personal care routines, greeting and departing was a 7, meals and snacks was a 4, nap was not observed, diapering and toileting I gave a 4, health practices was a 5, safety practices was a 6. A daily sheet goes home with the parents every day, letting them know how their kids slept, ate, and their diaper changes. Parents can stay in the room for as long as they want or watch from the observation window outside, without being seen because they have like a two-way window. I observed 3 parents during drop off that stayed at least 10 minutes to play with their kid before leaving. And one parent dropped in while dropping her other kid off to tell the teachers that like her kid wasn't going to be there today because she was still sick and running a fever. So they do keep really good communication with the parents. The children were really good about washing their hands before and after eating, and after diapering. It was mostly just during the steps of diapering where they wiped the kids' hands and then wiped their own hands, and like the adults washing their hands afterwards, was just a little inconsistent, but most of the time it was pretty consistent with them washing and they with just a couple slip ups. But everything else was good. The average. For listening and talking, helping children understand language, I gave a 5. Helping children use language, I gave a 5. And using books, I gave a 5. Um, they did pretty good with using pleasant tones when transitioning from activity, or going to hand washing or eating. They explained to children what was going to be expected and gave warnings before transition. So the teacher said, we're going to play for 5 more minutes and then we are going to go to the potty. During play, the teacher sat with the children who were playing at the sand table and asked them questions like, how are you doing that? What are you making? And the children would say outside it's raining, and the teacher would respond with, yeah, you're right, it is raining. Do you think we'll get to go outside today? So they were very engaged in asking a lot of questions and building off of like what the kids were saying. For using books, there was about 3 to 4 books that were torn up. There was no violent books or anything like that in the classroom. I observed one teacher reading to about 2 to 3 kids in the morning, during arrival, but a lot of them were just like free to go play wherever they wanted. The kids went back there and like freely looked at books, but no adults were back there reading. I did not see any science books, and the classroom actually uses the bookmobile monthly, to keep new books coming in and to maintain the condition of their books that they keep in the activities, I gave fine motor a 6, active physical play a 6, art 7, music and movement 4, block 6, dramatic play 5, sand and water play 6, nature and science 5, use of TV promoting acceptance and diversity, I gave a 4. They were celebrating like a Chinese New Year thing while I was observing them, but they did not have like a wide variety of posters or books or materials, other than the fact that they were just doing something in the classroom for that holiday. Um, they did have a good variety of materials to change out materials in the classroom to keep up with like blocks and puzzles, and etc. They did use the computer for music for the kids to dance to, but the screen was turned off, so they did not really use the computer. Interaction, supervision of play and learning, I gave a 7. Peer interaction 5. Staff child interaction 6. Discipline was a 7. They used a lot of conscious discipline, so they would use a lot of I see that you're very upset. What can help you, or what can your friend do to make you feel better? Um, I observed them saying, do you see your friend's face? Does she look happy or sad? And then they would have to answer and see what they could do to make their friend feel better. And the teacher used, like, I know you wanted the car, but you may not kick. Kicking hurts. We do not kick our friends. They even had a poster that hung up in the classroom that had feelings, and they had statements taped up around the room that they could use as like conversation starters, for when a child is having programs and structure. The schedule, I gave a 5. Free play was 6. I did not witness any group play activities, or children with the schedule seemed very flexible. They follow it pretty strictly though, but teachers take their breaks at certain times. They eat at certain times. Free play is pretty much what they do throughout the whole day, and the kids were able to move freely around the classroom. So parents and staff, provisions for parents was a 6. Provision for the needs of staff was 7. Provision for professional needs of staff 6. Staff interactions and cooperation 7. With it being on U of L's campus, there's a lot of room for professional growth. You can take 2 classes a year for free. They don't hire people unless they have their CDA, and then after that, they will give you like training, like conscious discipline training, or teacher said they had a couple people that just came back from an AC conference. They do staff meetings once a month. The leads meet with all the other teachers that are in their room every Friday, and they do a staff meeting on Fridays that let them know what's coming up for the upcoming week, what activities are they going to be planning for, and etc. And